Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome to the updated demo for Esoteric Ebb by Christopher Bodegard and, more recently, RobbyB, a publishing studio which we are somewhat familiar with. I've touched on a few of their games in the past. Most recently, a certain Skald Against the Black Priory. Though, full disclosure, Esoteric Ebb is a game that's actually been on my radar for quite some time now, since even before RobbyB got involved. It's just taken a while for me to work myself up to actually trying to tackle it. For Esoteric Ebb is one of the small but growing number of Disco Elysium likes. The new narrative subgenre, forged by the titular title itself, Disco Elysium, by the late great Studio Zaum before their tragic commercialized collapse. Rest in peace. But, while they may not have been with us for long, they did at least pioneer this new subgenre of narrative adventure games, each seeking to bring their own unique twist to the anachronistic, surrealist style of Disco Elysium. And in the case of Esoteric Ebb, they have done so by blending the surrealist style of Disco Elysium with the inherent absurdity of high fantasy Dungeons and Dragons, which personally I am a huge fan of. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I have long been a fan of anachronistic fantasy or subverting classic fantasy tropes, reverse dungeons, monster protagonists, bureaucratic fantasy. While I read many a fantasy novel growing up, the ones that really tended to stick with me were the ones that often blended those sorts of themes, like Robert Asprin's Myth series or Gregory Kostakayan's tragically unfinished Cups and Sorcery trilogy, or, pretty much anything that Terry Pratchett wrote. And I feel like Esoteric Ebb does a pretty good job of hitting that same general vibe. The main downside, of course, being that because it is a Disco Elysium-like, much like its namesake, it is a very densely text-heavy game. So, this is essentially going to be a glorified RetconRaider episode. Less epic adventure and more talking to ourselves, touching all the things, and generally antagonizing every unfortunate NPC who happens to cross our path. But hey, if you're into it, then stick around. Perhaps you'll find it entertaining or at least intriguing enough to go check it out for yourself. Links in the description below. That said, enough beating around the bush. Let's jump on in. Esoteric Ebb by Christopher Bodegard and RobbyB. Here we go. Right after we make our character, right. And I will say there was some temptation to just hit that randomize button and see what happens, but given the nature of the game, I figured it would be more fun to go in with a deliberately counterintuitive character, the sort that I would normally never play, since I do tend to prefer playing specialized skill monkeys. But, despite the trappings of D&D, this game also draws heavy inspiration from Disco Elysium in attaching separate fragments of your character's disparate personality to the various primary attributes, not just determining what your character is actually good at, but also coloring how they perceive and interact with the world around them. So, with that in mind, I figured we'd go ahead and try doing something I would normally never do, and just go in full bore on strength and constitution, whilst simultaneously tanking our intelligence. Less an investigator and more a creature of pure zeal and gut instinct. Though, at least somewhat tempered by average wisdom and charisma to hopefully keep us from getting ourselves killed too quickly, because that is very much an ever-present hazard in this high fantasy world, often from angles you might not otherwise expect. I mean, my first character died from eating too many apples. Those damn apples. I'll show them. But yeah, let's see how this works out for us. I'm sure it'll be fine. Thank you for trying this early demo of Esoteric Ebb. You're welcome. It's coming together step by step, and I'm excited to show you this first snippet of the adventure. Now get your cleric out on the streets of Norvik. Chris. And only 6 intelligence. Cleric head empty. No think. Only do. Indubitably. Skip intro. Surely you jest. Truth and nothing else, a voice declares. What is your name? Right, your name. It's, one of those Norvikian names. Starts with an R. Ron? Yes, that's the one. I don't know, Brain. You seemed pretty uncertain. Of course not, for you are the cleric. The cleric? Yeah, you know, I kind of like the sound of that. It sounds right. You are often referred to as cleric. Okay, so my name must be... Yes, speak it. Cleric. The cleric. Yes. You answer. Another question is stated in the dark. What is your occupation? You're dead. Dead? How can you be dead? You're thinking, aren't you? Dead does not mean gone. What are you, a fucking poet? You aimed at Patriarch. More realistically, you would have ended up a sender. Sender, slang for a cleric working at a sending office. Usually derogatory. Where am I? Why is it so dark? It's more than darkness. It's nothing. All around you. Man, I hope I'm not a sender. I don't think I am, but I feel like I don't want to be either. Politics at the tower wouldn't allow for much else, now, would it? Also, while we're on the subject, I also feel like I would kind of prefer not to be dead. If you would, if you can embrace it, do so. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Don't think that counts as an occupation, though. What context are we using here? Didn't you have a job? Something really important. Your class. Tell the voice about your class. Oh, class. Do I have any of that? What is it? Lower class. Ah, of course. Occupation. Ha! Forever standing at the gates of chaos, holding the line against all things foul is no mere job. It is a calling. Destiny. Well, you know, I got it on good authority that apparently I may be some sort of guardian of justice and peace. It's either that or I'm awful at everything, but, you know, I kind of prefer to stay optimistic. Yeah, let's go with the guardian thing. Indeed. Your journey has taken you far. Finally, you've become the one and only. The strong and steadfast. The cleric? Yes. It takes a while before the next question is posed. What is your current goal? We need to find out who blew up the tea shop. You are a hero. By divine dictate, only you can save the world. The Goblin Chieftain. She needs you. Goblin, short and green. Got claws and fangs. Little monsters. They've got 3 tribes in Norvik and are considered somewhat civilized. I'm sorry, wait, could we back up a second? A tea shop exploded? Unfortunately, yes. Well, that's not great. I feel like I like tea shops. They are lovely, yes. You may ruminate further on tea shops at a later date. There is a question to be answered. Your goal is... Well, hold on a second. If I'm dead, then what's with all the questions? I was always under the impression that being dead would be, quieter. No clue, but you should keep 'em talking. It's been silent here for far too long. Okay, fair enough. Again, I've got it under good authority that I'm here to save the world. Also, something about a tea shop, but it feels like the world takes precedence. They're counting on you. Keep it together. No reply. No feedback. Then the voice asks, "What is your political affiliation?" Oh, buddy, that is a loaded question. The question strikes your entire consciousness, sending it spinning. Yeah, that sounds about right. The National Party of Norvik, of course. Party of Norvik, the inheritors of Earth's will, a theocratic organization founded to uphold the old ways, headed by magistrates and 20-something noble families. Elections are ridiculous. I'm not sure I know enough about any of these groups to make an informed decision. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Just say whatever you think will be the most useful to you. Well, my body is screaming that I should be a nationalist, but, I think I'm going to go with my gut on this one and say none of the above? Question mark? The voice is fading. This is the end. The final question. How did you die? Following your convictions. Drowning in the river. Well, I am the cleric. I fell into divinity. She took me whole. Oh, that music. Day 1. A fresh start. Your body aches. It's stiff, as if you've slept for days. Ready for your glorious quest to continue. Oh, my stuff. Where's my stuff? What stuff? Your hands dart around your pouch and uniform. You take a deep breath. Be calm. No spellbook, no mace. Face it, you've been robbed. Your legs shake. Tears begin to form. Deep breaths, your belongings are surely here somewhere. Right, of course. What was that about a quest? Oh, yes, a quest. You're on a quest to save the city. Wait, just the city? I thought I was supposed to save the world. Though, I mean, to be fair, saving a city sounds slightly more manageable. That might be a bit of an exaggeration. Shouldn't I already know all this stuff? Yes, everything is off, but your memory is intact. Your thoughts are scattered, but your mind is fine. Your quest was given yesterday. Remember, the tea shop. The tea shop. Yep, the tea shop that blew up. Oh, okay. It'll be a tough one. Might take days. A chance for redemption. Whoa, redemption? Hold on. Why? What? Did I do something wrong? Insubordination. Inconstancy. Light apostasy. The words live inside your bone marrow. Well, I mean, if the punishment's just a job, it can't be that bad. I mean, I'm sure I've done jobs before, right? You haven't. Well, what about quests? I feel like I like quests. I must have done some of those before. Good attitude. There's always more around the corner, so look out. Don't want to miss any. Okay, so I saved the city by finding out who blew up this random tea shop? More or less. You're the one they sent. You best get to work, hero. Whoa, I mean, it feels a bit premature, but really? You think so? Yes. It's time to deliver it all to this wonderful city. Your duty has come. Give everything to Norvik. Whoa, everything. I mean, that feels like a bit much. You feel dizzy. The weight of the Earthguard uniform. A dull pain takes hold. Earth, your god. You need to heal, now. Go eat an apple. It'll help. Oh, I'm so confused right now. One step at a time. Right. Eat an apple. There do seem to be 1 or 2 apples in our general vicinity. Should be easy enough to accomplish. Behold, an apple. Looks better than the ones on the pile. Get ye apple. Garden apple. An apple grown in Tolstad. The colors ripple across the surface. Consuming it will save your soul. Also, +1 HP. Yum. Apple consumed. Now perhaps to find the rest of our stuff, for we are woefully lacking. But for this helm, which apparently also doubles as our face and we should never remove, probably nothing alarming there. And here is the great empty canvas of our questing tree. The lone flowering branch beckoning us to investigate the tea shop that blew up. Behold! This isn't yours, is it? I don't know, is it? Tattered cloak, +1 dexterity, -1 charisma. Get ye cloak. The cloak is sprawled upon the iron slab. As you grab it, you immediately feel the dampness spreading into your gloves. It is light blue and tattered, and it was once yours. An Earthguard cloak add-on. It has been ripped to shreds at the base, but you could still use it. Please don't. This thing is disgusting. You weigh it in your hands. It is heavy. You wring out the water. The filthy liquid falls to the floor of the stony chamber. It is still quite wet. Should I be wearing this? No? I'll think about it. You reach for your fancy red pouch of holding. The cloak easily slips inside, into the extra-dimensional space. With a satisfying slurp. Neat? Oh man, I do love having a pouch of holding. Yes, aren't you lucky? These are like 1,000,000 crowns on the market. Crowns, the Norvikian crown, the main coinage in Norvik. Of course you don't truly own this pouch of holding. It is property of the state, so treat it as such. Right, of course. Well, at least the cloak's mine. Tattered cloak, the ends are torn, it's a stretch to even call it a cloak. Please don't put it on. +1 dex, -1 charisma, which, sadly for us, given our current spread, would only hinder, not help. It would essentially reduce our charisma modifier to a net -1, whilst leaving our dex modifier unchanged. Though it is still worth holding onto, because we may be able to use it in conjunction with other items, which, collectively, may provide us with a net bonus. Behold! Divine Scripture where it does not belong. Get ye Scripture. Shield of Faith. Nice. Oh, and it also auto-transcribed. Very nice. Yeah, it didn't do that in the previous build. So we now have access to 2 basic first-level spells. Cure Wounds and Shield of Faith. Though I do notice we don't actually have either of them prepared for casting. We'll take care of that momentarily. Behold, a pile of apples. Nay, a great mountain of apples. Get ye apples. You stare at a pile of apples. Apples are good for you. Yeah, that they are, but whose are these? Not yours. Maybe they're grown somewhere around here, or below. From the ground, or from trees. Like potatoes, or tomatoes. You are now hungry. Thanks, brain. Do people normally store apples with corpses? Of course not. It's nasty. It's just apples. They won't damage the corpses. It's certainly a violation against city code. Probably. something tells you that, no, they should not. Do you think I should eat all of these apples? A tremendous challenge, worthy of your attention. It would be greatly beneficial. And there's our basic skill tutorial. Pretty straightforward, just your basic d20 roll modified by your attribute modifier, plus any situationals you might rack up. Wow, that is a lot of apples. I do have some concerns about the logistics of fitting these all in my stomach. Yes. Perhaps I'll remove the ones that are less appealing? Your hands swipe over the surface of apples, carefully plucking away any with signs of spoilage. Nice, 5-point swing in our favor. And now the core issue. Eat yon apples. Nice. You look upon this challenge with determination. Your stomach is empty. Digging in, the first apple goes down the hatch. Going smooth so far. Another. Number 2 goes well. You chew it in peace. Number 3. Yep, that sure was an apple. Going smooth so far. More. This one was harder. Your stomach fights the taste. It is getting difficult. I'm sure I can keep going. No, this is the limit. As you chow down on the apple, you feel your jaw ache. Your hands shake. Apple overdose. Dangerous stuff. You've heard of that. Scary. You feel refreshed. For a moment, at least. The pile of apples tower over you still. You barely made a dent. The apple boy is back. Yes, eat the apple, apple boy. Okay, I'm gonna go throw up now. As you feel sick, you see something sticking out of the pile of apples. A piece of paper. No, it's a spell scroll. You worked hard for it. Good job. The scroll is just for a simple cantrip. Oh well. You quickly memorize the scroll, consuming it into your psyche, as you always do. Some people at the towers used to fear your innate power to master magic like that. I feel like that's not how it normally works, but sure. Which is understandable. It's pretty terrifying. Touché. Cantrips are spells that can be cast at will outside of dialogues. They do not consume any spell slots. And that was Dancing Lights. The ability to illuminate even the deepest of darkness. Truly a noble spell. One that's apt to come in handy should we ever find ourselves stumbling around Sans Light. Let's give it a shot. Very cool. Behold, our divine will given luminous form. Boink. Yep, that is certainly a ball of light. And those are still apples. Oh yes, let's go ahead and prepare some slightly more potent spells, perhaps. Though I do notice they've moved some things around since last time I played the demo. Behold, a divine shrine covered in apples. Shrine of Earth. The runes fill your senses as you approach. At the center, you see his red eye, watching over you, yet the color is faded. This monument is hollow, void of all life and divinity. And worse, it's covered in rotten apples. A sacred shrine treated like this, that feels like an insult to Earth and all his people. Right? Indeed. Yet you are very much aware that this is not the worst you'll see. You'll have to fight hard to keep Earth's dream afloat. This city is lost, but it is not yet lost. Oh, and there goes the headache again. Politics is exhausting. Yep, right there with you, buddy. How them apples? It does not take long for you to move some of the nasty apples away from the front of the shrine. A small improvement, but big in heart. Well, I mean, at least people still keep these things around. That's got to be worth something, right? Indeed. It is a shrine to your god. Protect it. Why, are these rare? No, you'll find shrines like this all over Norvik. Oh, and I guess I can, like, pray here? To what, exactly? To Earth, of course. Earth, yeah, that sounds right. I need to pray to Earth. You may pray as you wish. There's an internal element to it that is underappreciated. It makes you whole. Well, I must say, that does sound pretty nice. The shrine towers over you. You feel small. So, aside from Earth, what other gods are there? Many. You know a few. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's Earth. Everyone knows him. Question mark? Earth is dead. Dead gods do not speak. Dead, yes, but he speaks through you. You've devoted your life to follow in his footsteps. I also want to say there's a Tokig the Gambler? A trickster. The type of god only famous for his ridiculous ploys. Love him. Tokig the Gambler is often seen as a silly goblin myth. Praying to Tokig would, if you for some reason would get a response, only result in the exact opposite of whatever you wanted. Yeah, that sounds about right. And Bulba, the last titan? First of many, a beast of Jor. Beast of Jor, term for those creatures invited by Jor during the Gate era. Essentially a term for all the extremely old and ancient creatures across the coast. Bulba was that of the hunt. Behemoths who raged across the coast. In his name we celebrate the eternal hunt. Yeah, I guess that's all I know. So it is. Wait, hey, so if I can pray here, can I, like, channel divine will and heal my wounds? Or, you know, at least deal with the core issue and keep all these apples down? Not precisely. The gods do not usually grant divine interventions for minor injuries. Of course you can heal here, but only if you pray hard enough. Well then, pray I shall. I shall become the ultimate prey. Wait, no. Huzzah! You focus your mind on Earth's symbol, his red eye. And you remember the words. Watch upon me, Earth, shepherd of his folk. You're filled with the spirit of nostalgia and power. Let me pick up the burden. Lend me your strength. You feel reinvigorated. This is it. This is prayer of healing. Yes, indeed. Sadly, you're unable to cast second-level spells yet. But it won't be long until you do. Right, yeah. Good to know. Speaking of which, we can prepare up to 3 spells at a time. So might as well tag all 3, even if we can't cast Prayer of Healing just yet. They do play it a bit fast and loose with exactly how spell slots work. But they do provide an interesting tool for potential problem solving. Or, problem causing, depending. It's all relative. The runes fill your senses as you approach. Staring at the chiseled monument, you focus your mind. You take a deep breath and begin your prayer. And tranquility. You contemplate the tea shop. Your mind goes through the basics of what you know. The tea shop was destroyed in the middle of the day. Minor injuries were reported. Your goal is to enter the tea shop and investigate it properly. That is it. But I can return here if I find something new, right? Always. You are the only one who is always there. That's good. I do like being present. Okay, I think we're done here. Though perhaps not done here. Behold! A vase of leaves. Smells lovely. For it is full of incense. Or at least it was. Less so now. Incense, easily burned spices and herbs, can be used to recover first-level spell slots. A welcome addition to our ever-growing arsenal. A sealed vase. It's marked as organ disposal. Gross. Behold! It's a corpse under a blanket. You stare at a blue rag. It's draped over the outline of, someone. How is this guy sleeping down here? Oh, I see. It must be normal to take naps down here amidst the apples and organ jars. No response. Sir, could I ask you a few questions? No breathing, no movements. Nothing. Oh, I see. You're dead. No shit. Recently deceased. Actually checking under the rag, you find the cold corpse of a human. Thinning blonde hair, unkempt facial hair. His sons miss him and despise him. Oh boy, intelligence. I'm like good with corpses, right? I'm sorry, what now? Like, clearly I've been trained for this sort of thing? Ah, you know exactly what you're doing. Formal training is for people without true talent. Hey, Rain. You know what? You're right. A true hero is not afraid to get his hands dirty. Truer words have seldom been spoken. -2 difficulty. You believe in your non-existent abilities. Fantastic. Behold the power of self-delusion. But you know it only gets you so far. There's something strange here. We must look closer. Harsh scars cover the skin. Signs of being either a hard worker or a careless worker litter his skin. Make sure to check the back as well. But the moment you touch it, black veins appear over its skin. A feeling of impending doom comes over you. Your stomach drops. Oh, gosh. Followed by a wave of pain. Necrotic energies! Let go of the damn corpse! The moment you let go, the pain subsides. The dark marks on its skin disappear as quickly as they showed up. What a horrific spell! This corpse is cursed by something wicked beyond your powers. You slowly cover up the corpse once more. Let's not speak of this. I don't know, I'd kind of like to speak about it. What the hell is going on with this thing? Whatever it is, do not touch it again. Sure, yeah, don't touch cursed corpses. That's just, that's just good general life advice. But what about, say, the things that aren't technically the corpse? Like, say, things in its pockets? Well, it's not like the guy will complain, but maybe don't go around talking about it too loud, okay? It would be dishonorable. Only take that which you need for your quest. Gotcha. Wink. So who is this guy? Do we know? Just a man. A dead man. An honorable dead man. Well, how do we know that? Why is he here? This is a morgue. A lich house, clearly. Is it? Because honestly, it really kind of feels more like an apple silo, but sure, why not? Thank you, Brain. Helpful as always. And look at that. Things I just happen to need for my quest. What are the odds? Earth crowns, the official currency minted in Norvik's Riksbank. These silver coins are most valuable along River Torna as the Norvikian River's Reach offers its support in trade and general commerce. Also an apple. Nomp. More seriously, though, that curse almost straight up killed us. Thank goodness we're a brick. Sir, you've just been hanging out here this whole time. You good? Behold! A guy. He looks indecisive. You approach a shambling man by the apple pile. He does not acknowledge your presence. He is unaware of you. Greetings, citizen. Glancing under his hood, you catch a blank expression spread upon a dried face. I'm the cleric, and you are... He does not even turn to look at you. Why is this guy not responding to me? Wait, am I a ghost? No, that would be silly. Wait, is this... A zombie? Huh. Good question, Brain. Sir, are you or have you ever been a member of the undead? He does not respond. I'll mark that down as a maybe. What is he even doing? The zombie is attempting to clear a path through the apple pile. He's probably been at it for a long time. I see, I see. Could this zombie be the source of all this perfidious produce? Should I defeat this zombie? Yes, it is only just. Undead are not to be allowed in Norvik. Sounds good to me. Let's take this guy down. Yes, deal with this foul creature. And thus begins our first combat encounter. Again, very loose abstraction from actual D&D, but you know, you can see the general broad strokes. And, you know, just to hedge our bets. Here we go. Take that! I am indeed faster than a corpse. Your turn. Show him no mercy. No, stay. Do not make the first move. Nah, I'm gonna have to go with body on this one. Putting your weight on it, you push the zombie backwards. He attempts to stabilize himself while stumbling around. The slow zombie just stands there. No, he's reacting. It's just taking some time. The zombie is hostile. This undead abomination must be apprehended before he causes damage to innocents. Does that include you? Yes. You should probably try to de-escalate. Just a tip. Never. I'll grab him. I'll grab his arm. You successfully grab his arms. Your thick-gloved hands wrap around his frail wrists and keep them stable. He's not getting away now. His neck snaps around, the withered face now facing yours. Yeah, you've really pissed him off. You can tell since you're such a people's person. Ow. The zombie bites down on you, hard. The pain is temporary. This ends now. Your final chance. Do not falter. Right. Let's finish this. Huzzah! Knock him out! Yes! Catching your breath, you stare at the now unmoving creature. Justice dispensed. Now go loot him. Get that fancy tooth. Victory. So what was that about a tooth? Behold, a guy. He's not moving. Also, he does indeed have a tooth. And not just any tooth, but a wisdom tooth. Which grants +1 wisdom. A filled tooth in pristine condition. You feel a tingle in your palm when you hold it. Yeah, sure, why not? Tooth goes in head. Or at least head adjacent. No immediate benefit, but it does give us more wiggle room. Behold, a basket of apples. Some of them look okayish. Ah, apples. The cause of and solution to many of life's problems. Imported goods. The receiver is marked as HBT. Behold, an almost empty box except for a stale treat and a pouch. Cardamom treat. A traditional Norvikian baked bread. It is famous around the coast. Or if it's not, then it should be. Well, I mean, at plus 5 hit points, I would certainly hope so. That's basically a healing potion. Consume. Delicious. Oh, and what have we here? Thanks for playing the demo. Here's a little starting reward. Oh, Christopher Beauregard, you shouldn't have. A broken sword and a helmet. I don't know what to say. Sword's a net +1. Helm breaks even. We can actually get some use out of that broken sword. The armet, perhaps a bit less so. Armet, the helm of an arcane-era paladin, mass-produced for legions in the Coast War. Extremely cool-looking. Yeah, see, the Wisdom Tooth would actually offset that Wisdom penalty. But we would still take a hit to Intelligence, which, you know, isn't exactly our strong point. No offense, Brain. None comprehended. And Broken Sword, a standard issue Earthguard blade. One-handed usage, lightweight, crap quality. Makes you feel like a big man, an agent of the state. It's also broken in half, but if you lean tactically, you can hide that fact from your enemies. +2 strength, -1 wisdom. And see, that we can use because not only will it grant us a +1 on our strength checks, but the Wisdom Tooth will offset that penalty. Still a ways to go, but bit by bit, our situation improves. Behold, a crate filled with sand. You approach a crate full of sand. You notice a little marking on the back with the letters HBWT. The lid has been tossed behind it. The crate is filled to the brim. It's just sand. Hunger. Wait, are you saying I should eat this sand? Your gloved hand trails across the surface. The sand shifts slightly at your touch. All right, I'll go with my gut. Get ye sand. You dive in with your whole hand, fingers first. Then you feel a tug, a grip, and finally, a pull. Whoa, wait, your shoulder is almost pulled out of its socket. You manage to keep it from engulfing most of your arm, but in the process, the sand grabs onto the front of your helmet. Your face is now sinking. Your head is heavy. Thanks, Gut. You grab the rim of the crate with both hands. But as you put your entire adrenaline-filled arms to work, you feel energy being sapped from your veins. You are being sucked. Oh, my. Out of your skin. Oh, my. As you keep pushing, you realize you could get out at this point. However, then you would have to leave the helm behind. I mean, do I really need this helmet? I've got another one in my pocket. Yes, you do. All right, okay. Your muscles turn to mush as you stop your struggle. Yeah, that's not quite what I was going for. I was thinking maybe the opposite of that. Maximum effort. You grab the rim of the crate with both hands. The hazy noise of a head no longer filled with so much blood screams in your ears. I will not die here. Filled with the pure fires of adrenaline, your muscles creak and your bones crack. And it pays off. Within seconds, the rock-hard grip of the sand loosens. Then it drops entirely. You swing your head back, filling your lungs with air, as a trail of sand follows you. Ugh. Within an instant, the sand snaps back into the crate. Not a single grain dropping to the floor. You stumble back. Glancing over to the crate, you see its content now lies still, like nothing happened. You should put on the lid to make sure this does not happen to someone else. Right, let me just, we good? Yes. Great. Thanks, Gut. Let me just get the sand out of all the places. It helps. A lot. And we'll just put a lid on that. You take a very, very careful step towards the crate to grab the lid. Then you place it gently on top. Your job here is done. Indeed, I've clearly done a great service to the community. Lost some sand, but gained some grit. I'd say that's a fair trade-off. On we go. A glow glass, very common magic item. Behold! Stairs leading down, far into the city below. Not available in demo. Behold, there's a door inside this tunnel. But it's locked. Which I suppose means it's time to set our sights higher. Behold, this one looks good. Then it shall suffer the same fate as its brethren. Numph. And I suppose I should grab this too. Behold, a very important piece of paper. A voting card. -1 intelligence. I mean, yeah, kinda. A scuffed voting card made out to Ragnar Hemlin. It's from a dwarven office for some reason, and someone has checked in all 5 parties on the list. You need to bring this to a polling place on election day if your voice is to be heard. Examine? You pick up the surprisingly thick piece of paper with a shaking hand. Haven't you looked at this thing enough? This is your future. The card is slightly torn and has clearly been drenched at some point. At the top it says, Rostcourt in big, bold lettering. Rostcourt means voting card in fancy Ascani Dwarven. Ascan, one of the 8 bands along the coast. It is a cold, mountainous realm. It is your home. 5 days remaining. Oh yeah, I guess there's an election or something, right? I suppose that does feel like an adequately sufficient framing device. Oh! Oh! It was nice to not think about it for once. Oh, God, I'm right there with you. But, you know, I mean, we've never really had one of these elections before, so I guess it's kind of neat, right? Very neat. Finally, your voice will be heard. So how exactly does this thing work? It does feel inherently more complicated than just having a God King. After you pick it up at a district office, you only need to check the box of one of the 5 parties. Then you deliver it on election day to a polling place. Although in your case, you'd need to write the name of the party you want in the corner, along with your signature, since you've filled out every box. Like an idiot. Protect this card with your life. Why? Is there something important on it? Nationalist Party of Norvik. Free Strider Revolutionary Party. Asgalist Workers' Party. Agrarian Rural Party. Oh, all these parties sound dreadful. Arcanist Party of Magic. Oh, well, maybe not that one. And finally, the last box doesn't say anything. This is where you can input whatever you want, or just leave it empty for a null vote. The box next to each party is filled with a smudge check mark, including the last empty one. Well, you know, I mean, parties sound fun. I hate to miss out. Is this all of them? Yes, all of them. At least that you know of. Right, good to know. Thanks, Brain. And we'll just, refrain from equipping that one. Our brain's struggling enough as it is. Also, we have another quest on our quest tree. Election Week. Which, aside from the general, you know, socio-political commentary / satire, I imagine does essentially frame the campaign. I imagine, much like Disco Elysium, we're looking at a 5-day time clock. Possibly 6, if they want us to perhaps suffer the consequences of our questionable actions. Viskin's Lair, Upper Tolstad. Good morning, Cleric. Sir? Behold! Mushrooms. Probably edible. Swamp extract. A small fungal spore ball. These can be farmed along the undercoast. They do wonders for your gut. They're not mind-altering. Probably. We'll just hold on to those. Behold! An empty pot. Looking inside, you find this empty pot to be empty. The pot was recently emptied. You can still see remnants of dust at the bottom. There is fear. You must grow sturdier. Okay, gut's kind of acting up, but, noted. Sir? Oh, look at that cutie. Ah, yes, and here's a mechanic that we won't get much use out of, not with our current build anyway. Aside from objects, we can also behold people. which prompts an intelligence check that can reveal all manner of potential secrets, both mechanical and narrative. Though, again, in our particular case, probably not gonna get much out of that. Blam, 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 blam. I think my brain just blue screened. Alright, well, engage, I guess. The pale man sits hunched over stacks of forms. Busy at work, his pencil slowly filling out line after line. On the top paper, you see an icon of a serpentine drake. That symbol, it's on a lot of official documents of the city. That is the Great Perch of Norvik. Great Perch, the drake-like sea creature found along River Torna. Earth was known to tame these creatures, and eventually the Great Perch became the symbol of his great city. River Torna, the second longest documented river along the coast, splitting the band of Ascani in half. Oh, up and about, are we? Wonderful. Death. This is death. I am Viskin, local entrepreneur and proprietor of this lich house. It appears you don't really belong here, but if there is anything I can do, cleric, just let me know. He smiles at you. This person emanates an immense power. Foul? Perhaps. More accurately, it is simply there. Immovable. Eternal. Beware. I don't know, just seems like a dude. What am I not seeing here? Books and flasks litter the circular chamber. It's dimly lit and damp. There are several corpses present. Hey, so yeah, I was dead. Did you bring me back to life? Are you, perhaps, a necromancer? He puts down his pen. Your life is your own. You owe me nothing. However, I'm afraid to say you have been through quite the turmoil, cleric. Right, yeah, like I said, I was dead, right? Those fishermen who brought you here certainly thought so. Eyes of the working men do not deceive. Not that I blame them, you weren't exactly in prime condition. They'd caught you in their net, believe it or not. Such a strange tale. The river? I don't remember being in a river. How'd I get there? Not a river. The river. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell. Perhaps you fell off one of the bridges to Tolstad? No, that doesn't sound right. I don't think I make a habit of falling off bridges. If I fell off a bridge, it must be because someone wanted me to. I think someone might have been trying to kill me. How awful. Tell me, who were these fisher of men? River guilders, I believe. They did not look like poachers, so my best guess would be that. Find them. They hold the truth. Right, and where can I find these fishermen, if that is their real name? He ponders your question. I did not ask for their names, sorry to say. But perhaps Waterlane? That's just a guess. Waterlane, the largest trade port in Norvik, located in a massive tunnel piercing the center of Tolstad. It is a so-called marvel of dwarven engineering, and it's the reason so many people commute to Tolstad over the many bridges. Either that or the local tavern. I hope you find them. So you would, as a medical expert, confirm that I am, in fact, alive? And not something else? Like my up-until recently reanimated roommate? The pale man stops for a moment. He looks you up and down. Yes. I believe you are. Alive. Once dead. Well, we'll just see about that. I had some other questions, I think. Do you now? I do indeed. I require assistance with things. Of course, cleric. Anything for the city. I don't know where I am or what I'm supposed to be doing. Your shaky voice makes you sound positively Fort Vivlad. Indeed. I don't mean to tell you what to do, cleric, but there is a certain rumor that our local goblin chieftain is waiting for you. Is that so? And what rumor might that be? Just common murmuring? Lady Miska Sageleaf is her name. She's down in the Goblin Garden. Goblins are green. They are indeed. Good looking out, brain. Don't know what I'd do without you. Of course you've heard of her. Lady Sageleaf is quite famous. They call her the Dragon of Tolstad. Right, yeah, dragons are also green. Sounds very, very frightening. She is. Treat her with respect, cleric. Lady Sageleaf is a powerful ally. I would even go so far as to call her de facto lawkeeper here on this island fortress. This goblin is no lawkeeper. Only the city rules. Earth rule. Wait, this is part of the job? Talking with some petty goblin queen? You may find her at the southern tip of Tolstad, the pale man says, then keeps scribbling on his papers in front of you. So you're clearly a wizard of some sort, possibly a necromancer. Do you know about spells and such? Yes, quite a bit. Excellent. Could you perhaps elucidate on all matters arcane? A slight smirk creeps onto his face. I sadly don't have time for a proper lecture at the moment. After the election, I could make time, if you're interested. No, that's fine. I'm pretty sure that's when this continuity comes to an end, but thanks for the offer. Until then, you are free to browse my collection, he says, glancing at the many books along the western wall. And, of course, here. Ooh, Charm Person, thank you. A copy of Charm Person. It will surely be useful to you. That's a great shortcut to charming people, although you've got to be careful with the fallout. If you care about such things. Well, could you at least explain the basics of magic? I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere, right? Oh? I mean, of course. As a wizard, you memorize your spells before casting them. As an arcane cleric, you must memorize your spells during prayer at a shrine. There's one downstairs by the apples. Indeed, and tell me, O corpsemonger, are all shrines kept in apple-strewn basements? No, there's one at the Temple of Earth, of course. It's just up the stairs past the pillar. There's also one on Water Lane View, I believe, past the trade post. You'll find more hidden around every corner, I can promise you that. And spells. How does one acquire such sorcerous sundries? 2 ways. You could spend time learning them, drafting pages out of the palace archives. The palace, an unofficial nickname for the current rulers of Norvik, named after the palace district in which most central authority resides. Or the Great Library in the towers, since you obviously would have some access to that. However, I don't believe you have time for either of those options. So I would suggest the other route. Oh? Spell scrolls. Ah, yes, indeed. Spell scrolls. Scrolls with spells. Rolled and spelled scrolls with spells. I know them well. Indeed. Now, Tolstad is filled with all kinds of strange caches, so you'll probably encounter more by just looking around. If you get your hands on a scroll, then just memorize it. Cantrips or spells, doesn't matter. I'm sure you're talented enough to memorize them on the spot. I am indeed. He nods to you and goes back to his writing. Well, I suppose that's sated my need for sorceress secrets for the time being. Thank you, Corpsemonger. Very well. If you want to practice, feel free to cast anything non-lethal on my servant, Ost. Treating a servant like that is despicable. I think I will not do that. That sounds pretty terrible. Fair enough. Just remember that spells are terribly useful when applied properly. Yes, you would say that, wouldn't you? What about you? Could I perhaps test my spells on you? He stares at you. Waste of a spell slot, I'm afraid. You believe him. Danger. So anyway, you referred to me as cleric earlier. I did, yes. How did you know my name? What gave it away? He stops for a second and glares at you. A heavily armored man in Earthguard colors, with the prayer book on his hip. They might have found you in the river, but you're clearly of city stock. Hardly seems conclusive. Could be happenstance. Could it? Happenstance, perchance. He puts down his pen and stares at you. How's that head of yours, cleric? Well, you know, I gotta say, probably not great. There might be some brain damage, but considering I was dead up until maybe about an hour ago, markedly better since I was reborn. Oh, sounds like a religious experience. Well, yeah, I guess it would be. I am, after all, the cleric. Good for you. Your purpose is here. You serve the city as a cleric of the river. Though I'd love to ask, what type of cleric are you? I'm sorry, what now? Type? Yes, if you are a clergyman, you might run a congregation for a local religion or deity. Holy man on a holy mission. Then there are clerics of the bureaucratic variety, city officials speaking for the religious state. You, however, must be an arcane cleric. Must I? Though I do have it on good authority that I may be some sort of chosen hero, destined to save the world, or the city. Slightly murky on the details there. The pale man stops and ponders your response. Chosen for what? To save the world? Or the city? Perhaps one, then the other? Or both in tandem? An eyebrow raised, almost like he takes your statement seriously. What a good person you are, cleric. One step at a time towards total domination and justice. Good luck with that. Thanks. I could certainly use all the luck I can get. Great. So, was there anything else you wanted to ask? There was, actually. What can you tell me about the tea shop that exploded? I have come to investigate. What's there to say? I know about as much as your average Norvikian. He does a humble shrug. Oh, and how much would the average Norvikian know? Very little, I'm afraid. He's looking at you, waiting for another question, despite you obviously wanting more information. The pale man is toying with you. Make him speak. Which does imply they at least know a little? Of course. I heard the explosion. I went out to investigate, only to find the tea shop caught up in a raging inferno. The Tolstad militia were already heading into action, so I went back inside, so as not to be in the way. And that is that? Well, I'll be the judge of that. Where were you when this explosion occurred? Working. He motions towards the stacks of papers. What sort of work? If you must know, it was the end-of-life report on a sailor. Tragic. He doesn't want to speak on the subject, but he'll let you ask one question. I can feel it. Oh yeah, that guy. I think we met. Didn't catch his name, though. Jordil Linston. Jor, the name of our realm. Also the name of the legendary wizard who created it. He died during the closing at the end of the Gate era. Well, I'm going to assume that this isn't the Jor, but rather just someone named for him, but thanks. Honestly, I'm just glad you actually knew something. But I'd prefer not to speak too much on the subject, however. Understandable. So, when the tea shop exploded, did you hear anything unusual? A loud bang, and some shouting afterwards. How loud? It shook the Lich House. And mind you, this is not some ordinary basement. This is a remnant tower going hundreds of feet deep into the earth. I'd be surprised if anyone in Tolstad missed it. Right. And the shouting? From the militia, they were rushing to the scene. The fire prevention declaration has truly done wonders for this city. And nothing else? As the entire district almost turned into an inferno, yes, there was quite a lot of commotion. Nothing that stands out, however. Really? Nothing. Not that I recall. You're absolutely certain. The pale man stares at you for a while. How thick are you? Well, I've got a 17 con. I'm pretty damn thick. Pretty sure. Okay, sounds good to me. I believe I have everything I need on that. Yes, not much to say about it, I'm afraid. Perhaps so, perhaps so. Okay, anything else? Yes, I do have a battery of probing personal questions. Ah. Ask more questions. Share great knowledge with Pale Man. This man is evil. Do not linger. The Pale Man shifts in his seat. His spirit recoils. Very well. Now then, let me just queue up my mental list. This is your job, asking questions, getting answers. Oh, who are you voting for in the upcoming election? Interesting question. A bit invasive, but I'll oblige. I'll be voting for the party of Norvik. Numinism, while crude and outdated in certain respects, have proven both its stability and economic assurance for business owners such as myself. They have my vote. Not unusual for well-off human men to vote for the Earthfolk party, although this fellow doesn't strike me as the religious kind. A vote is cast for self-interest. It takes a special man to vote for any other reason. Well, I suppose as a servant of Earth, it's good to know that people will vote to uphold his will, I guess. Oh, I'm no Earthfolk myself, but I have the utmost of respect for your traditions. A visitor from far-off lands? You could call me that. From Reeds. Careful. Reeds, and you're not voting Priest Rider? There's a reason I left. Indeed. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I have no further thoughts on the subject, thank you. Neither do I, Cleric. So, Lich House, a house for corpses. Tell me about it. This is my establishment. We handle dead bodies for the city these days. Not terribly lucrative, but it is good work. Oh, how's business? Slow, which suits me just fine. During the curse crisis a few years back, this place was stuffed to the brim with dead folk. I like it more when it's relatively empty, like today. And you store bodies here? I do. The ancient ventilation system keeps this particular area cooled to an unnatural degree, even during intense summer months. The city has been a very grateful patron over the years. Was this always a morgue? Actually, no. I used to dabble in dentistry and surgery a while back. I scaled down that production to focus on my private life more. You don't say. What can you tell me of this private life? The Pale Man smiles at you as you prepare for another set of prying questions. Surname? None, I'm afraid. No hereditary connections here. He puts down his pencil and points 2 thumbs towards himself. Self-made man. Admirable. A fellow solo artist, eh? Family? None, I'm afraid. I am a war orphan. Wait, how old is this guy? I bring up a good point. How old are you? I'll be 38 this year. He does speak like an old soul, but his smile is youthful. Wife? Kids? The gods have not shown me that path, no. The stag life, I hear that. Pound it. Keeping his smile, the Pale Man politely bumps your fist. Hobbies? I like taking long walks. I also enjoy theater. but I mostly focus on running this lich house. And when you're not doing that... light reading, perhaps? I should try to get more hobbies, honestly. Thank you for reminding me, cleric. Is that passive aggressiveness? It should be. Where do you sleep? I'm sorry? Sleep. Nocturnal repose. Usually performed in a vertical fashion in a place of privacy. Where might yours be? I have a cozy apartment in the Holes. It's a short commute. The Holes, a common slang for the central spire of apartments in Tolstad. The lower ones are less fancy. Noted. Thank you. No problem, cleric. Happy to help. Now, I did have some less invasive questions. Go ahead. Were you aware there was a zombie in your basement? Oh, how quaint. No, perhaps you didn't hear me. A zombie, an undead abomination, an aberration in the eyes of Earth himself. Right below where we stand now, beneath our feet, at the foot of yonder staircase. I understand. We're closely connected with the city below. The undead seemingly wander as they please. City below, short for the city below the city, a phrase used to describe the incredible amount of tunnels and ruins below Norvik. Lots of monsters and stuff down there. Also riches if you delve deep enough. However, I will have to take this up with Lady Sageleaf. I pay good crowns for HWBT protection. HWBT, the Halfway Bridge Tribe, commonly called the Halfways, one of the 3 goblin tribes in Norvik, and arguably the most influential, led by Lady Miska Sageleaf. Oh, so it's all a misunderstanding then. Good. Well, I suppose there's no real need to worry regardless. I did vanquish the beast. You... Well done, cleric. What would we ever do without you? Good thing, too, because this was no ordinary zombie. It had a magical tooth. Did it? How strange. The pale man gives you a sideways glance. How did you notice this tooth? You know, I'm not really sure. Sometimes thoughts just occur to me and I act on them. In this case, magic tooth. Of course. And it was quite easy to retrieve once I had slain yonder beast. Of course. Well, I hope you make good use of it. Magical items, even minor ones, can be quite handy. Would you say that in your experience, zombies often have magic teeth? Well, I don't mingle with the undead often, but my gut is telling me no, they do not. You don't think it might be cursed, do you? I'm sure you know more of that than me, cleric. Perhaps. Tell me, as a former dentist, do you think it's safe that I place this tooth in my mouth? No. As a former dentist, I recommend you do not. Not to worry, it comes right out, see? And look at this, it has these strange esoteric markings on it. He glances at the yellow trinket in your hand. Those are glyphs of Nimmenberg. Necromancy. Although in your hands it is no more than a common esoteric trinket, I assure you. Esoteric, the magic of Jor and his strings. The coast is infused with it. I see. The pale man stares at you. This thing, it seemed quite intent on organizing the apples. Oh, the apples. Fascinating behavior. I must say, my arcanely attuned former dental hygienist turned corpsemonger friend, you don't seem particularly perturbed. A stray undead creature will cause no trouble here. He gives you a rare smile and turns to the kobold by the stairs. Isn't that right, Ost? Yes, master. Well, I suppose everything's... No, wait, I don't believe you. You're a necromancer. What do you mean, cleric? He must be punished. That zombie was clearly your undead servant. That is a crime in need of punishment. I greatly apologize for putting you in this situation. It is my neglect that led to this undead creature entering the tower. I will make sure to tighten up security in the future. Well, good, but... Ost, we'll do a clean sweep of the basement this evening. Get ready. The kobold gives a screeched yell. Yes, master! I will also make sure to report this to both the HWBT and the militia. Right, yes, but what I'm trying to say is that you... Of course, I'll be sure to ask for a thorough inspection from the palace arcanists. If there is anything unbecoming about my business here, it shall be uncovered and unveiled. Thank you very much for your service, cleric. It is because of great men like you that this city still stands. I'm sure a good word to your patriarch will assure a promotion of some kind as well, especially with this great work you're doing in the tea shop. This... Make him quiet. Yes, we must. Oh, no. Panic sets in, and anger. He's not listening to you. There's only one thing that will work. Okay, well. Full body contact. Ow. What? Wait, what just happened? You feel floaty, like everything went away in an instant. Slowly you come to. Whatever you did, it ended poorly. But it was such a good idea. The Pale Man did something to you. He's like a hag or something. Ah, you're awake, cleric. Good. I was worried there for a second. Did I win? I'm unsure, honestly. You seemed a bit dizzy. But I'm sure you're all right now. A hero like you would never fall in a place like this. Yes, of course. Never. The Pale Man looks up from his documents. But now that you're back with us, was there anything else you needed? Well, I did still have some questions, but, perhaps I should. Yeah. You glare at the Pale Man, who keeps working on his documents for approximately 2 minutes. Eventually, you feel stuck in your thoughts. I don't mean to imply I know more than an honorable Earthguard member, my good cleric. However, you must certainly have more important things to do on a day like this. He's correct. Maybe you can get back to this later. And dice check locked, but we can try again later, though ideally under much better circumstances. Since, mathematically speaking, it is somewhat impossible to actually succeed at that check at this particular moment. Alright, well, we're running a bit long here, so I suppose we'll stow the rest of the questions for now. Leave this poor guy be. Fine, I'll go. But not because you told me to. Oh, but before you do, make sure to collect all your belongings. I'm sorry, my what now? Belongings. You had quite a lot. Your uniform, your cloak, and also a voting card? A peculiar voting card. Every party had been marked on it. I'm assuming it's yours. No, that one belongs to some guy named Ron. I'm not really sure who that is. The pale man ignores your comment. I asked Oss to lay the surviving pages of your spellbook to dry. Over there, he says, and points across the chamber. Ah, so that they could dry, since they were wet. How good. He then looks at the pocket watch on his desk. That is an esoteric pocket watch. You may have it, cleric. It will surely prove useful to you. Beyond that, you should be good. What about my weapon? A mace or morning star, perhaps? None, I'm afraid. They must be at the bottom of River Torna. Damn, you'll have to pick up something new. Maybe a warhammer. Good. You do not need arms in this city. You need heart. Also, like 12 eyeballs. Got it. The pale man turns his face towards you and smiles. If only every government employee were as devoted as you, cleric. He gives you a stern expression. Good luck on your quest. His words burn a hole in your heart. No wisdom. All right, I'm going. Behold! A pocket watch. Yours? Esoteric pocket watch. +1 intelligence. Advantage on esoteric events. Very nice. This silver-lined timepiece never shows the correct time of day. It is always at least 10 hours out of alignment, no matter how anyone tries to correct it. At a touch, you can feel the faint magic pulsating within. The wielder gains a greater perception of esoteric happenings and occurrences within 200 feet. And again, not enough to actually bump up our modifier, but it does give us more wiggle room. Might as well top off, I suppose. Stupid necromancer. I'll show him I'm not one to be trifled with. I'll trifle right back. Ooh, comprehend languages. Don't mind if I do. And the mind expansion. Hey, look at that. Justice is served. Away! A common potion known to allow knowledge to stick more easily, often used by students. Grants a minor intelligence increase for a week. Oh, nice. Well, you know what? I mean, if ever there was someone who needs it. Wow, I can't believe we actually came out of that encounter somehow smarter than we went into it. The mind boggles. Behold! An unlocked chest full of strange rocks. But not just any rocks. Shards of Jor. A bright rock, it fits your hand nicely. These can be found all over Norvik, and some speculate they are all shards of Jor's pillar. To untrained hands, they have no inherent value. But you might use these to alter fate itself. Right, that's the resource we use to unlock failed skill checks, which does generally denote particularly important skill checks, such as divining the true nature of yonder necromancer. Actually kind of surprised we didn't pick up a quest for it, though we did at least pick up a few others. And I will note, that is actually how you get feats. Oh, that's cool. They're actually collecting all the keywords we've been clicking on. Man, that kind of makes me wish I'd clicked on more. And of course, we now have a couple of new spells in the mix as well. We'll have to decide which ones we actually want. But for now, let's wrap things up with this absolute cutie over here. Behold! A kobold chief of security. Oh, dexterity-based. Interesting. Well, we'll just learn things about you the old-fashioned way. Wiggling his little clawed feet, the kobold follows your every move with cold, unflinching yellow eyes. Even the small blade can fell a giant. Watch out for this one. Master, say you behave. Yeah, well, he doesn't tell me what to do. I did. Just now. A dominating force. You win this round. Yes. Oh, I can't stay mad at you. You're too adorable. The kobold glares at you. Your comment has begun the breaking process. Soon you will be the alpha. Oh, is that how that works? Sure, let's give it a shot. Your eyes meet each other, still, ever vigilant. The kobold does not move. Yep, you're still staring at each other. Eyes meet eyes. You're looking at a kobold's yellow eyes. Looking hard. The intimidation factor is insane. The kobold meets your gaze, and keeps meeting it. Both those things at once? I hate to say it, but I think we're outmatched here. Fair. The kobold looks at you with a cold expression. Determined. Confident. I would still ask you questions, if I might be so kobold. Short questions. Go. Who are you? I am Ost. I am security chief in Lich House. A strong one. Nearly immovable. And you're a kobold. Not question. Next. Wait, no, I meant... You bite your tongue, apparently very badly. My goodness. The taste of blood fills your mouth. The pain changes your brain chemistry for a moment, leaving your mind in shambles. Oh no, hurry, save the situation. Say something, anything. Ouch! The kobold stares at you. Use this to your advantage. Intimidate him with your life's liquid. Blood starts to drip down your chin. Blah. What are you? The kobold mutters as he watches you splatter fresh blood and saliva all over the floor. Yeah, that's what you get. Your move, kobold. Cleric is... What is... The kobold mutters. He is baffled. Your actions have truly made a mark upon his dark soul. Your inexplicably perceivable bloody smile is sure to cause havoc. The kobold stares at you. You wipe the remaining blood off. There's more where that came from, to a certain degree. Now that that's settled, how'd you get this gig? No funny business this time. Not gig. It's not a gig. I am devoted servant for master. Keep going. Oh, so you're not an employee. You're more like property. Not slave, but your master is Master Viskin. And he owns you? Not own. Serve. Oh, good. So you're being compensated, then. I hope. Yes. Paid well. Must be very well for such fierce devotion. He gives you an expression that could be described as a frown. That is, if it looked any different from his regular expression. Oh, no need to be a little sore. I'm just asking questions. It's in my nature. In fact, here's another one. Where were you during the tea shop incident? Incident? Tea shop blow up. Boom. Big boom? Big boom. Yes, I see. Big bada boom. When it happened, I was on Waterlane. On mission. A mission, you say? Not mission. I meant to say errand. Nice try. To errand is human. What were you doing on Waterlane? Milk. You were doing milk. Deliver. Oh, you deliver milk. Yes. Side hustle. I want to know a lot less. Nonsense. I must know more. I'll milk this for everything it's worth. The kobold stares at you. Where does this milk come from? Cows? Just cows? Just. And who buys this milk? Humans. Waterlane humans. They pay many for fresh milk before dawn. It pays. Do kobolds make milk? No. Do you even like milk? No. Milk is a form of pure vitality. Nature's most precious liquid. You've acclimatized your gut to the unnatural consumption of another species' milk, like an enormous babe clinging to its mother's teat. Well, I'll let you all in on a secret. I also don't like milk. Huzzah! You smirk, a confident laugh escaping your lips. You then turn towards the ceiling, smiling. That's right, you heard me. I also don't like milk. Your comment has made a dent upon the world. What a stance! As a human, who could have ever thought such a thing about you? The kobold stares at you with awe in his yellow, expressionless eyes. Now then, can I have some milk? No. Valiant effort. Alright, fine, I didn't want any anyway. Hate this stuff. That's enough about milk. Okay. Thank the gods. Shut up, brain. I don't see you helping me out here. So hey, you wouldn't actually shoot me, right? No promise. I'm sorry, man. You're just too cute for me to take seriously. I'm really trying. Yeah, that's what crossbow is for. I think he's threatening you, but it's hard to pick up over how adorable he is. Tell me, though, I should ask. Do you have a proper license for that crossbow? My crossbow, not yours. It's not legal for you to steal a crossbow. For some reason. I think. Apparently, I can't legally take your crossbow. Legally? Also, logically. Is that a challenge? Well, what if I were to borrow your crossbow? Can I? Human is kidding. Not funny. You would make greater use of it than this puny creature. Just take it. The kobold snorts. Go away. Don't let this slide. Just take the crossbow. That wasn't a question. It was a demand. Yeah, I'm right. That wasn't a question. The kobold stares at you for a moment. Yes, it was. Oh, maybe it was. Well, what if I were to say, please? No. What if I were to try to convince you? The kobold stares at you. Stealing would be evil, so just demand it. Loudly. That's not... No. Please don't. Oh, hey, actually, our inexplicable behavior has actually paid off for once. We baffled him with our bloody tongues and bonded over our mutual hatred for milk. Oh, snap. Oh, you know exactly what to say. There's only one thing that could possibly convince this kobold that you should get the crossbow. And that is, of course, Master Viskin asked me to get your crossbow. Master did? The kobold glances over to his master. Yeah, he said that I needed it more than you do. What? Why? Oh, you know, he said you're so strong now. That thing's really just holding you back. I mean, look at you. You're basically a killing machine. And what use does a killing machine have for a smaller killing machine? It's redundant. The kobold squints. He leans back and smirks, then nods. Here we go. The kobold reluctantly and slowly hands over his crossbow. Master always right. The fact that he handed it over without even asking the pale man first. Love it. With the crossbow safely in your grasp, the kobold scoffs. Weak human. Of course you need crossbow. Yes, to my eternal shame, you've certainly showed me. I think we've all learned a valuable lesson here today. Well, I'll just be on my way. Though I do notice you still have a crossbow, but that's fine. I'm sure they'll fix that in post. A finely crafted crossbow. Lightweight. The type used by peasantry in the late years of the Coast War. It's a tool of swift and easy death for those without training or cause. The mechanism appears to be jammed, however, so you can't fire it. But it sure looks intimidating. Oh, gosh darn it. Wait, so is this thing broken the whole time, or did he do that before handing it over? Either is equally plausible. And unfortunately, no immediate benefits from using it, but no reason not to either. But, still, rather have it than not. Goodness knows we certainly worked for it. Behold! No. Too much reading. Hush, you. Piece of paper. +1 dex, -2 strength. It says, for Milk Run, go see Herbert Zachary, 12 Waterlane View, LW. It also says some other stuff, but the style of handwriting is too esoteric. Huh. Interesting. Obviously related to the milk run, I suppose, but, good to know. Another potential feat to unlock. Milcurious. Yes, there is much to be said about the milcurial nature of man. What else we got here? So many books. Basic manuals, arcanist histories, novels. Some of them stand out to you as classics. It would be useful to refresh your mind. The books taunt you, bookishly. Autobiography Prax by Lord Phileas Prax. You take a look at the first page. In these pages I shall endeavor to recount the journey of a mind born to greatness, a will tempered by the crucible of ambition, and a spirit bound to the relentless pursuit of the arcane. My name is Phileas Prax. It goes on to make grandiose statements on his personal abilities of magic. Know this, I write not for the masses, but for the few who possess the clarity of vision to see beyond the veil of mediocrity. To them I offer my life as a lesson and a legacy, that they might learn from my triumphs and avoid the pitfalls that lie in wait for the unwary. You remember the first chapters dealing with his youth, growing up in the ruthless court of a rival house, the Hagenshags. How he struggles against relentless opposition and bullying, making himself out to be an underdog. Power is not born of blood, nor inherited by the fortune of birthright. It is cultivated in the crucible of the mind, refined by the fires of discipline and sharpened by relentless pursuit of knowledge. Let those who seek to rule first learn to kneel before the altar of wisdom, for it is there that true strength is forged. A glorious design. Let those who learn lead, through merit of ability and nothing else. I mean, sure, yeah. Generally speaking, I do agree that leaders should probably know what they're doing. I am generally in favor of people being more educated rather than less, said the guy with 6 intelligence. Of course you do. You're a wizard, after all. Am I? I feel like I'm a cleric. I feel like we established that at some point. Well, you say that. Yet you know the truth, all the same. In the second half, Prax begins to talk about his early political career, the intricacies of majocratic bureaucracy, how he learned to play the game well enough for himself to reach a dictatorship as the youngest majocratic ruler ever. The rest is mostly a collection of meditation surrounding magic and power. a strong leader, with clear intent. The esoteric in its purest form is neither good nor evil. It is a tool, a force to be wielded by those with the intellect to do so. Yet let us not be so naive as to think that power alone grants one the right to rule. The arcanist must also be a statesman, for the whims of unchecked magic can lead even the wisest astray. Govern with an iron hand, but let that hand be guided by the principles of reason and justice. Thus shall the state prosper, and thus shall the legacy of the magocracy endure. Ironic. In the halls of power, the arcane shall be our shield and our sword. Yet remember this, the arcanist's duty is not only to himself, but to the state and its people. For in the endless pursuit of knowledge, one must not forget the price of ignorance. A vigilant mind is the guardian of civilization, and a vigilant state, the fortress of progress. Let no shadow fall upon our vigilance, for in the light of our knowledge lies the path to true dominion. The final parts of the biography focus on an ever deeper and more rambling side of ruling. Oh, so many words. Why would you open a book then? Shut up, brain. You think you're so smart now that you're 2 points higher. You shut it, looking upon the title once more. Autobiography Prax. Also 5 XP. You know what? That's why I opened it. Just for the experience. Now away with ye, book. You place it back on the shelf. And yet the siren call of experience beckons. Opening the Trill Sisters book shows you an index of several tales, many of which you heard growing up. Stories for children are useless. Do not waste time here. Out of the tales, you see the one you remember the most, the one about the gnome and the titan. This story always spoke to you, mostly because of the unlikely friendship between the two. A little and the large. In the old days, when dragons ruled the skies and titans wandered the earth, there lived a gnome named Abacus, known far and wide as a half-wit. Whether by fate or folly, he often found himself in the oddest of places. And so it was that he stumbled into a deep valley of Ascan. This valley was home to Kazorm, the Mist Titan, a colossal being with fur as thick as the ancient forests, and limbs that clutched the very mountains. His upper body was hidden in, or perhaps made of, the swirling mists that filled the valley. But on this day, the valley was not the serene refuge it had once been. The air was thick with ash, the rivers ran black, and the trees stood as charred husks. Esoth, the ancient red dragon, had set the forests aflame, hoping to drive Kazorm from his domain and claim the fertile valley for himself. Kazorm was furious, his great form trembling with rage as he searched for the source of the destruction. His eyes fell upon Abacus, who was wandering aimlessly, his tiny mind more puzzled by the sudden darkness than anything else. To think the coast was once filled with these beasts of Jor. Hard to imagine. They reigned harshly and wildly. But it's not hard to see why some preferred their chaotic dominance to the tyranny of dragons. Thriklum chum, who dares bring fire to where none should come? Ashes taint my sacred mist. Speak, small one, lest ye be missed. Abacus looked up, squinting through the fog, and scratched his head. Fire? No, I've no fire to share. No flame do I bring, nor ash to bear. For in the dark I see clear as day. 'Tis those who can't that need the flame, they say. Thriklum chum, what nonsense from your tongue does come? Who is it that needs this blaze, that blackens my mist and dims my days. Well, question thee, who needs a flame to light their path and stoke their claim? Perhaps 'tis Esuth, the king, whose fires to your valley bring. Dricklum chum, the dragon's days are surely done. Guide me, gnome, to where he lies. Together we shall dim his skies. The story goes on to wax about the friendship sparked between this eldritch titan and the silly little gnome as they sought out Esuth on his throne. The ancient red dragon then falls to the titan's might, after Abacus accidentally guides him to the correct location. One of those classic stories every child in Eskin is told growing up. You shut it, looking upon the title once more. Folk Tales. Nice. Bit by bit, we build towards perfection. You place it back on the shelf. What the heck, might as well go for one more. Collected Chants of Norvik by Patriarch Pilly. This is a printed edition of Pilly's work, but still old. Probably came from the earliest Norvikian printers. On the first page, a short message is hand-scribbled in the corner. My belief lay in the collected humanity of Norvik. May you remember that from this collection. With honor and grace, Billy D. Is this a handwritten message from the second patriarch himself? Protect this book with your life. This is a sacred artifact. Fascinating to think the Pale Man held such a treasure on his shelf. A Dream of Unity, Under Earth. The book begins with a lengthy essay about the foundation of Norvikian cultural values. It's really like a guide, if anything. On what a Norvikian person is, how their values come from various tribes in the Old Country, and how together they have formed something greater under Earth. You've read this before, but you do get a better sense of what this all means now. It is, in some sense, a plea, a stern suggestion for every human in Norvik to lose any sense of former tribal identity, to embrace a new one, a Norvikian spirit, to give away the old and embrace the new. It is not a completely bad move. To unite a folk is to build commonality, to lower inequality, although of course there were many direct ways the state at the time made sure that the old did not remain in the shadows. Violence and oppression at times. The text directly explains how a new Norvikian culture will help the city grow and fight against iniquity and injustice through unity. Mainly by being generous and not hoarding wealth, among other things. Then, finally, it does touch upon the connection with dwarves as well, and how the Norvikian spirit is not contained within humans only. It is not just blood, it is sweat and tears as well. Those folk who unite with us will not be seen as an other. No, they too are Earth's folk. They too are Earth's guard. Wow, that's, are we still in the forward? Yeah, it's like 5 pages. Old man likes to ramble. Well, what else we got in here? Torna's Lament? I went with you to foreign shores, my lord, my guard. I pray you keep from harm the beasts, each shard, a proof of your devotion. Thus I give myself to your folk. I give my life for a home at the river, in that sliver of land, to vanquish the beasts who roam, the evil who lair, the fires that burn. to build a life along the river. Every shepherd knows the song. It bellows up the river. Earth lives in that sliver of land. It is your favorite. Neat? You shut it, looking upon the title once more. Collected Chants of Norvik. Take it. It does not belong in this foul place. Whoa, hold on. I thought you were against stealing. Should you really think we should just take it? Do not see it as take. You are freeing this sacred object from the Pale Man's collection. Yes, that is how you should view it. Now take it. I mean, I've got to say, I feel like I'm getting some mixed messages here, but okay. Get ye book. You place the book in your pouch. Sell it. You will protect it. Even if taking it from the hold of the Pale Man makes you feel conflicted. Oh, yeah, as you turn around, you see the mortician staring at you. Then he gives you a thumbs up. Oh, good. Well, right back at you, bud. Well, that makes it less exciting. He might just be a kind-hearted man below that mask of his. Yeah, that's probably it. Well, I guess we'd better book it. Though I do notice we didn't actually get anything. That's slightly disappointing. Perhaps something not yet implemented in the current build. Which is fair. I mean, it is just a demo. Behold! A tray of old incense. Some is still usable. Yoink! For the quest. Wink. The stone slabs are designed to slide along the iron beams. Huh. Interesting. Behold! A thick tome lies upon the iron slab. You flip the tome open. There are fine and handwritten letters scattered across the pages. While the symbols appear to be readable, you do not understand the language. De verbis draconum, ars occulta. The author's name appears to be Calum Diminori. Well, can we at least try to read it? No. You have no idea what this means. Right, I guess we should cast Comprehend Languages. Yes, you should. Good looking out, brain. I'll do that perhaps next time if we come back for more. Behold! A map of the Tolstad district. Neat. Behold, it says Earth's Chance. Ruined prayer book, +1 wisdom, -3 intelligence. Oh, goodness. The book is ruined. Most of the pages, while dry now, have been completely drenched. Only a few pages of the soggy, brackenish papyrus pages are readable. They appear to contain some type of undecipherable symbols. Eskani writing of the most basic kind. Wait. Oh no. Someone has attempted to dry this to the best of their ability. No, no, no! By Earth. This is your prayer book! So many hours wasted. would have to rebind the whole thing. It's ruined. That'll cost a fortune. A chant book is able to sustain humidity, not underwater excursions. You should have protected Earth's chants more carefully. What a disgrace. Yeah, well, it happens. It's not like I had much choice in the matter, at least I assume. I mean, who's to say how I ended up in that river in the first place? I will assume that I am blameless, as I am in all things. Ruined Prayer Book, the tool of an arcane cleric, an instrument of the state to handle rogue spellcasters. The cover indicates it is a type of spellbook with hymns dedicated to the river goddess Torna. Such a contradictory artifact. Most pages are smudged. It feels terrible to even think about the knowledge lost. You need to get it rebound. Probably not going to equip that. You know, if we shuffled our gear around, we could actually get ourselves down to an intelligence below 3. Which, you know, is below the threshold of verbal communication. So, I mean, I am curious if they actually took that into account. I might try that off screen. But for now, we really do need to wrap this up. My goodness, we're pushing 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's a weird, like, sort of... Oh, what's this? You kicked the bottom of a crate. Your foot hurts. Do I? Does it? What? Well, if there is a crate there, I'm certainly not seeing any way to interact with it. Huh. Weird. Okay, well. Do not consume these sludgy liquids. Behold your fate one day. Grim, thanks for that. And also that. A corpse under a cloth. Your fate one day. Death comes to those who deserve it. Death does not care. Alright guys, ease up. You are bumming me out. The Red Eye of Earth. Jor left his mark across the bands. Today it is a universal sign of magic. Also, I am just now realizing that the color of the question marks and the pop-up text are directly tied to which aspect of our character is speaking. I really should have realized that sooner. It also explains why we're seeing a lot less blue and yellow interaction points than I'm used to seeing, since those, of course, represent our 2 weakest aspects. I have also noticed, of course, that red and brown, strength and constitution, are definitely more talkative than I'm used to, which, you know, makes sense, given that we kind of went full bore on stacking those numbers. They're actually tied right now. Hence, I suppose, the 2 butting heads more frequently. Which, you know, just really kind of gives you a taste of the sort of replayability the game might have long-term. Much like in Disco Elysium, where even innocuous choices can have an enduring impact on both yourself and the world around you. That said, as much as I really would love to push on, I really do need to call it here. Sadly, my throat is starting to wear down, but hey, 2.5 hours, not bad. Hopefully at least enough to give you a taste of what the game has to offer. I mean, personally, I find it to be a fascinating mashup between fantasy and surrealist fiction. with all the inherent absurdities that you'd expect to go with. But, at the same time, it also does, I think, a good job of establishing an actual interesting world that you do kind of want to explore and find out more about. It is clear that the creator, Christopher Bodegard, not only put a lot of thought into how you would interact with the world, but into the world itself, which I think is a big part of what I find so compelling about it. Case in point, I've been playing it for over 2 hours now. This was supposed to be like a 45-minute video. Though I suppose it's just as well. If we'd cut it that early, I don't think we would have even made it out of the basement. Which I guess does kind of play into the other sort of weaker point of the game. I think a weaker point of Disco Elysium likes in general. They do tend to be very ponderous, slow-paced narrative experiences. While I have, obviously, very much enjoyed playing this, I am also very aware of the fact that, despite playing for well over the time originally intended, we basically just walked around a basement for a while, ate a bunch of apples, punched a zombie, failed to punch a necromancer, and then stole a kobold's crossbow. Not exactly your usual high fantasy fare, though I'd be lying if I said I couldn't see one of my tabletop sessions going more or less in that direction. I had some weird players. That said, if you've made it this far, I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if you might like to see more of this in the future, even if just to finish up the demo. I'd love to do it, but, that's really contingent on people wanting to actually see it. Otherwise, it's back to more conventional fantasy fare. I do have Solasta and Pathfinder both weighing heavily on my to-do list. And of course, if you'd like to go check it out yourself, the demo is still currently available as of the moment I'm recording this. Esoteric Ebb by Christopher Bodegard and Raw Fury. Links in the description. And of course, if you'd like to see more videos like this, then, feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, the YouTube memberships. Also in the description. But for now, we leave this world of esoteric intrigue behind. Perhaps to someday return. Or perhaps not. But, wherever we end up, hopefully I'll see you there.